Good afternoon, it is 12 noon here in the United Kingdom. Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, wherever you may be watching me from. It is time for Sunday service and your Auntie Nelly's got her brand new glasses on, so we're going to see how we can read today's Dear Auntie Nellies. All Dear Auntie Nellies that come into the page are anonymous. And today I wear my poppy with pride. Here in the United Kingdom it is Remembrance Sunday. So I wear a little bit of red in order to show gratitude and so thankful for everybody who gave up their tomorrows for our today. So good afternoon each and every one of you. Somebody local in Haslingden knitted these. So I gave a donation and I'm wearing it with pride. So once again, good morning, good afternoon and good evening, wherever you may be watching me from. And over at my boutique, it is nice November. And have we got a flash sale for you today? So if you do follow my boutique, Ruby and Daisy, there is a flash sale today starting at 3 o'clock. It's only for 3 hours, 3 till 6. So make sure that you jump on and get those things in your basket and to check out using the code that will be there as the flash sale. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching me from. At 11 a.m. this morning I did stand on my doorstep and did 2 minute silence. You might all think that was quite a task for your Auntie Nelly. Can I remain quiet for 2 minutes? Absolutely, as and when is needed. I've also popped a bit of red lipstick on today to go with my lovely red poppy. Do my teeth look yellow? I always think when I wear a red lipstick my teeth look more yellow than the yellow that they already are. Can I also say I'm still sticking to my healthy eating and I'm feeling absolutely incredible today. Can I just show you? I am not feeling as bloated. I've got my gorgeous curly denim magics on. It is available at my boutique, but can I just show you? I am not feeling as bloated. I'm feeling quite good. So I just thought I'd show you that. And lots of messages are saying I'm looking really well, really healthy. How am I doing it? Just by sticking to my healthy eating plan with the help of the gorgeous muscle food. I can see here that Facebook have enabled stars on my page. It's the way of the world now. So if you have sent me a star, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I'm not too sure what the stars are for, but apparently they're being enabled on lots of pages at the moment. So if you have sent one, thank you. So without further ado, it's today's Sunday service. All Dear Auntie Nellies that come into the page are anonymous, so you mustn't worry. Should you have a Dear Auntie Nelly, whether it be for Sunday service or night time with Nelly, then please, please, please keep writing into the page, because if there's no problems to share and no problems to solve, there'll be no Sunday service and no night time with Nelly. So shall we get going? I think we should. Let me know if you are wearing your poppy with pride. Let me know where you're watching me from and let me know what you're having for your dinner, what you're having for your Sunday roast. Hello everybody, let's get going. Dear Auntie Nelly, I have been with my husband for 9 years. Oh, can I just say once again, sorry, so we don't get banned or booted off. The advice I give today is purely for entertainment purposes. If you are experiencing anything medical, then please, please, please go and see a general practitioner. Okay, so I've said that, I've covered my arse. Always cover your arse. I'm getting more used to it now, so here we go. I have been with my husband for 9 years. Okay, at the beginning I knew he had trouble getting an erection. We both thought it was because of his medication for his high blood pressure, but he is only 55, so I have encouraged him to make changes to his diet and general health. However, he does drink a lot and he smokes. No matter what we have tried, nothing really works, and he only tries for a few days and then gives up. Oh, I've come to the conclusion conclusion that he doesn't care enough about me to change things as much as he tells me he loves me. This has resulted in me just becoming very angry, to be honest. I feel very, very angry. I'm a 63-year-old angry woman, and my libido is slowly draining away from me. I now feel I want to go and have sex with other people. Oh, I do feel guilty for saying that, but I'm just so frustrated. Any advice? Thank you for listening, Anonymous Flower Pot. The advice I give you straight away there is please, please, please do not be going having sex with other people. Do not be thinking of having an affair elsewhere. What we've got to do when we've got problems at home is we've got to sit down at the kitchen table. So hashtag kitchen table. He does smoke, he does drink. I'm not sure how many he smokes and I'm not sure how much he drinks. You said you'd been to see a doctor. Could you maybe go back to the doctor again with him and just voice your concerns that his health isn't quite tip-top? He's on some kind of medication. Could that be affecting his libido? Could that be the thing that's making him not maintain an erection? I think it's so important sometimes to say that even though we think that a man is aroused or finds us sexually attractive because he's got an erection, the fact that he's, not had an erection means that he no longer fancies you or you're no longer in a position to have any sort of intimacy is absolutely ludicrous. A man does not have to maintain an erection in order for you both to feel intimate and sexually gratified and satisfied. So I think it's about going back to basics and sitting down with your husband and explaining to him, listen, I feel like, and I'm not going to, but I feel like I want to go elsewhere because my sexual desires are not being met. I'm not going to do that. So what are we going to do? I love you. You're my husband. And I want to sort this out. Tell him exactly how you're feeling. Tell him that you're going to make an appointment at the doctor's. Maybe he needs a review of his medication. Maybe there are other things that you can introduce into your relationship that doesn't involve wildfire sex all night. It doesn't have to involve him being stiff all night. It's certain things like maybe because he hasn't got an erection or can't maintain an erection and you're going on about that, his ego feels a little bit bruised. So it's about going back to basics. It's about holding hands again, sitting on the sofa, cuddling up. It's about having that kiss and that cuddle. I would certainly not turn to alternative medication unless you've cleared it with a general practitioner and made sure it's safe for his well-being. As for his lifestyle, what can you do to assist his lifestyle? Do you sit there and drink with him? Do you also smoke? Sometimes when we're encouraging people to maybe abstain from things, it's good. Yes, my poppy, sorry for interrupting myself, but yes, my poppy was knitted by somebody in the local area in Haslingden, and I made a donation this morning when I purchased it, and I just think it's absolutely adorable. So whoever you are, thank you. Okay, so lots of people give me a lot of love about my jumper. Can I just say it is very last season at my boutique, Ruby and Daisy, but please pop on today between 3 and 6 as I'm having a massive flash sale. Okay, so back to the question. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, just because things are not quite tickety to boot in the bedroom, it does not mean to say that you're not having, you can't have an intimate relationship with your partner. So number 1, have a good chat with him, communicate. Number 2, book an appointment at the GP. And number 3, start being intimate. And it doesn't have to happen in the bedroom. It can be him kissing you on the cheek, you holding his hand, that caressing, that touching. That's something that you only do with him that you don't do with anybody else. And that's what is making you in an intimate relationship. And everything else after that, once you've crossed the T and dot the I's, will come. But please, 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 never, ever, ever go looking elsewhere. Never. Not until you've sorted your own shit out. If you can't sort your shit out and you really feel that you can't actually be in a marriage that's sexless, then yes, then you stop your marriage, you separate, and then you can go and look elsewhere. Okay? So I hope that's helped you today. There may be flower hot's watching, who may have experienced this and like to obviously jump on and pop in the comments, because after each and every live I do, I always pop on and read the comments, and I learn a lot as well, because every day is a school day. Dear Aunty Nelly, I am really hoping you can help me. Oh. I am a 31-year-old man in a same-sex relationship. I've been with my boyfriend for almost 2 years, and we are engaged, and the wedding is booked. Congratulations! We have just found a surrogate for our baby, and everything is exactly where it should be. I should be the happiest I have ever been, but I'm not. For the past 2 or 3 months now, I have felt empty inside. Oh, dearie me. And I have noticed that my boyfriend no longer really seems to care as much as he did. The spark has literally gone. We have full-on screaming matches, and I avoid having sex with them. We're both guilty of not putting effort in anymore. I don't know if it's time to call time, because it might be too late to salvage our relationship. I honestly do love him with all my heart. I don't hate him. In many ways, he is amazing. I just feel like we've hit a brick wall, and I don't know how to get over it. He just puts it down to me having mild anxiety, and just makes me think maybe he's right. I just don't feel any happy anymore. Any help would be appreciated. Thank you. P.S. We really love you. You are amazing in all you do, and keep being you. Oh, thanks, sweetheart. Thanks ever so much, my little flower pot. I will continue to do what I do until I'm no longer needed. So, okay, so you've said there quite a lot in that. It was a little bit War and Peace, but that's okay. This Sunday. Regardless of what relationship you're in, you've decided that the time is right in your relationship to have a baby, and you've gone off and you've found a surrogate. I don't think the time is right for you to have a baby. There's never a right time to have a baby. If you sit there and think, oh, we'll have a baby when we can afford one, you'll never afford one. But now is not the time, I would have thought, to bring a little baby into your world, because your relationship is not right. And I'm wondering if it's because you've rushed into this relationship, you've rushed into getting engaged, and then you've concentrated on nothing but let's have a baby, let's get a baby, let's find a surrogate, and you've actually lost yourselves in the process. And I think that can happen with couples who are maybe trying for a baby, and the wife is there saying, oh my God, I'm ovulating now, come home from work now, quick. You know, they take all the spark and the fun and the process of it all being natural out. So even though you found this wonderful surrogate and you're proceeding on to your next chapter of your life of wanting to be parents, have you actually thought about yourselves in this? What your wants are, your needs, your desires, how your life's going to change? Because at the moment, I don't feel that you're in a position to change your life. You need to change your life as it is now in order to be stable for the next chapter of your life. Because regardless of what relationship you're in, and regardless of a surrogate, or whatever, a baby coming into your home, it will never ever be the same again. You will never ever remember your life as it was before. And that's the honest fact of having a baby. As wonderful as it is so tiresome, and nerves get very short, and you're not sleeping the same as you was, and you're not having the same beauty treatments. You'd be lucky to have a shit and a shower in the same day. So I think we need to go back to basics once again in this relationship. Halt the surrogate. You found her, that's great, but halt that part and start looking at your relationship and where it needs to be actually fixed. What can you both do in order to start putting effort in? You said you're having screaming matches. That is not the right thing to be doing anyway, but certainly not when a little baby comes into this home. So maybe take the time out, maybe have a weekend away, a week away, no social media, no phones, just concentrate on each other. And ask yourselves a very, very honest question. Is this really what we want to do? Because sometimes we get swept along with things. We don't actually really understand what it is we're actually doing. We just do it. And I always say that lockdown for me was an absolute blessing for my relationship, because had lockdown not have occurred, I'd probably be living with my ex-partner now. We'd probably be bloody married. And I wouldn't have had 2 minutes to actually think about what I was actually doing. But because lockdown came, it gave me those 2 minutes to sit down and think, actually, is this what I actually want? No, it wasn't. So give yourself that time to sit down. Do you actually really want to be engaged to this man? Have you got something worth fighting for? Do you actually want to be a dad and a parent, co-parent with this person? Are you ready to be a dad for the rest of your life? My daughter's 25 and still rings daily. So it is a forever commitment. So I would certainly just stop, relax, deep breaths, and think about what you really want. And I will say that to everybody, anybody who's doing something, don't just get swept along by it. Don't just do it because you think that's what you're meant to do, what is expected, or to please somebody else. Think about what you want, and sometimes you may have to make a decision that's really hard, but you've got to do it for you. You have to. It's all about self-care and self-love. And as difficult in that moment as it is to say to that person, I no longer want this, at least you're being honest, and that's all anybody could ever ask for. It took me a while to do what I did, but I did it. I did it. 2 months it took me, but I did it. You know, it's funny because I am an international agony aunt. I have my own column in Chat Magazine here in the UK on a Thursday. I have my own column in Australia where I've got a huge following in Australia. I write for That's Life Australia and That's Life New Zealand. And when it comes to my own problems, who do I write to? I go and see my mum. Mum always knows best, doesn't she? Now then, moving on. So I hope I'm giving best advice. As I always say, my advice is purely for entertainment purposes. I can see I've been sent quite a lot of stars. Thank you. I'm not quite sure what stars are, but yeah, I've got quite a few. Okay. Dear Aunty Nelly, I love my husband of 34 years. Wow. But 8 years ago I left him and I don't think he will ever forgive me. I had been diagnosed with cancer and it broke my heart and my husband did not support me. My nurse suggested I take advantage of the counselling that was on offer through Relate, which I reluctantly did. I've got hiccups. Has anybody ever had hiccups after a glass of water? I thought water was supposed to stop them. Anyway, so I had destroyed my world. I now live in a 1-bedroom flat. A few months later, a family crisis brought us back together in each other's lives. Eventually, we became friends again, and our love was later rekindled, but he has never asked me to move back into the marital home. I suggested that we sell that home and start again, but he said no. He visits me sometimes, and I say I can visit him, but he says he would rather come to me. I find it hard to cope with loneliness and depression. Is this a case of unrequited love? I'm not sure. I would really appreciate your thoughts, please, Aunty Nelly. Thank you. Hey, dearie me, quite a lot to go on there. I'm so sorry you were diagnosed with cancer, but I am so fucking delighted that your cancer team actually offered you counselling, because it's not an easy thing, is it? It isn't, and everyone's cancer is so different. I remember when Mum was having cancer treatment, and I was her cancer buddy, her chemo buddy, and I had chemo envy because people were having all these different chemos strapped up, and I'm walking around saying, why is this silver? Why is hers bronze? Why is this like that? And I was thinking, I hope they're not private and getting better chemo than what my mum's getting, because how much do I have to fork out here? Because I'll do a night out street corner, me, not a fucking problem if I've got to pay for better stuff. So everybody's cancers are different, and Mum's chemo was absolutely fine. There was no need for me to worry, and she's now in remission. Thank you, Jesus. Anyway, moving on from that. So I'm so pleased that you got the counselling you needed. Okay, so a family crisis brought you all back together again, and you've once again rekindled your love with your husband. Have you really? Have you just gone back to what you know? Is it because it's easier sometimes? Better the devil we know? What exactly are you feeling when you're saying it's unrequited love? What exactly is he not saying for you to feel that he's not loving you the same way that you love him? Now, don't forget, your marriage was something you was in for 34 years and it went. So you've got to put a line under that. Don't put it under the carpet. Put a line under that and let it move on. Because you're now both quite different people, as we all would be in 34 years. We've got different wants, different needs, different desires. We see things in different ways. Our sort of opinions change. So why don't you, rather than sat there thinking, why does he not love me like he used to, why don't you just accept your relationship as it is now and see where it goes? He may not want you in the marital home. You chose to leave the marital home. You're living in a one-bedroom flat. The bigger the house, the more you've to clean. Okay? So be happy with what you've got. Some people have nothing but a doorway every night. At least you've got a roof over your head. And that is something I'm grateful for every single day. I might not have much, but it's mine. And nobody can take it away from me. It's only a two-bedroom little house on a council estate in Aslander, but you know what? I bought it when I could, so it's mine. And it might not be much to some, but it's a palace to me. And the bigger the house, once again, the more Mr. Pledge you've got to have, or Mr. Sheen, other household cleaning products are available. So, okay, you've got your lot, that's your life. If you get to see him now and again, brilliant, you get to spend an evening with him, a bit of adult entertainment, a bit of love, a bit of laughter, brilliant. Do not be thinking you're in a relationship with this man, because to me it doesn't sound like you are. So why have you got loneliness and depression? Get out there, girl, meet other people, start a hobby. Start maybe doing voluntary work, but certainly spread your social circle. Therefore, you're not feeling as alone as what you do at the moment, because I think you're putting all your time and effort into this one person. You have him on a pedestal, and he certainly doesn't have you on that pedestal. So regardless of what's happened in your life, you've took control over it. You went for some counselling. Hopefully, you're now out of treatment and in remission. Embrace the life you've got. You've been given what I call another chance. You're too precious to us. You're still here, so please make the most of it. Open up your social circle, join groups on Facebook. There's some fantastic things out there going on that if you can't do it at the moment because of restrictions, because I don't know where you're writing me from, you can certainly do them online. Okay? And I wish you the very best of luck with that. I really do. Eh, dear. Dear Aunty Nelly, I started chatting to a man I met on Bumble 3 weeks ago. Oh, Bumble is a dating app, okay. He was never really a quick replier, but the conversations flowed well, easy for me to say. We were also sexting for a little bit, but then he went quiet. I left it a few days and then texted him again, which he replied he's been busy with work, and due to all this lockdown shit, he was having a nightmare. Anyway, I left a few days and texted him again, but he's read it and not replied. Oh, I have now deleted his number in anger, as I think he's ghosting me, although he still follows me on Instagram. Opinions? I think, as harsh as this may sound, but if you send a message and they read it and they've left you on read, I think that speaks fucking volumes. They have not had to say anything, but it is screaming at me as it's just not that into you. Everybody gets busy. Lockdown is a fucker. We're in lockdown too. There's lots of shit going on in my life, believe me, behind closed doors, in front of closed doors, you know. But we all get that 2 minutes in every day when we're having a shit that we could send a quick WhatsApp, even though it might not be a lovely big text of I can't stop thinking about you, what have you been doing, I'm having this and it. At least it could be, I'm not ignoring you, I'm going through a load of shit and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Take care and speak soon. It takes all of 10 seconds, maybe 20 if you're being trying to type with your thumb and wipe your ass at the same time. But anyway, you've messaged him, he replied sharply, you've messaged him again. Do not appear desperate, and do not sit there waiting for him to decide what you're doing with your day, your life, your evening. Just crack on as best you can. Make plans with your friends, go out, do Zoom calls, wherever you may be. And And I would take that as a signal as, I've reached out, you've replied, you shouldn't have reached out again. Absolutely not. The move was next his. Okay, you've reached out again, he's ready, he hasn't got time. So let's give him a bit of kudos. He's having a busy week, he's having a bit of a nighttime problem. You've now deleted his number because you feel like you've been rejected. Rejected by who? A man that you've never met? A bit of type on a phone? Whilst you're in maybe a second lockdown or wherever you may be, why don't you work a little bit on yourself? Why don't you look at issues in the past you may have had? And why don't you think, why am I feeling so rejected and neglected? Why do I feel like my ego's bruised a bit? Why do I feel like this when I've been ghosted? Why do I feel like this when I've not had a text back? Work on that. That is something you need to work on. Girl, you're worth it. And you don't need to double text. You've texted, you've done your bit. If he wants you, he'll come running. Everybody has 2 minutes within the day, unless there's something absolutely disastrous going on. And then if that is the case and he hasn't got time to text, is he going to have time to even see you? Ring you? Pop round? Do you know what I mean? If you're ready for a relationship, has he even got time for a relationship if he hasn't even got time to text? Those are the questions you need to be asking yourself. But girls, I've been ghosted and I've also ghosted. It's not nice, but it speaks fucking volumes. And sometimes the things they don't say are the things we need to be listening to more than ever. A bit of relationship advice there from your Aunty Nelly. Just because you've deleted his number doesn't mean to say he's deleted yours. He could pop up in 3 or 6, 12 months time and go, oh, I'm right busy, but I'm not now. Excuse me, Flower, I ain't playing second best to no fucker. For all you know, he's been chatting to some other bin and he's gone off with her for a while and he's taking all his days texting her and he's kept you in archives. Or is that just me? Is that just something I do? Just pop people in archives just in case the one I'm actually messaging goes a bit cold or ghosts me, or I'll meet him and I didn't actually fancy him and then I pull people out of archives? Maybe he's done that. Take it from one who knows. Anyway, dear Aunty Nelly, I have recently moved into a new flat. Congratulations in your new home. After 2 long days of packing and moving, I was down by the front door when a new neighbour walked up to me and without even introducing himself said, "Can you read?" He was pointing to a sign which said, "Do not leave this door propped open." This was because we have the front door propped open so the removal men could bring in all the furniture. I apologised, but he just puffed and stormed off. Oh, naughty neighbour. I have seen him around since and he's always trying to say good morning, but he also watches me and it makes me feel uncomfortable. I am not going to engage in pleasantries with someone who made me feel so shit when I moved in. He said it again this morning and I continued on without saying it back. And he said, there's no need to be so bloody rude. But I wasn't being rude, I was just ignoring him. Because he's rude. What do I do to resolve this? Sounds to me like you've both got off on the wrong foot. Okay, so my mum lives in a block of flats. She's the top flat. And you don't want to leave the door. When you walk in and you've rang the bell and everything, you've walked in, you've got to wait for the door to close behind you. Not because it's polite, but because you don't know who could get in behind you. So this man is obviously big on safety. At the time he did apologise and he didn't really take it as an apology. He huffed and puffed and walked off. We don't know what kind of day that man was having, and that's something I have learnt with age, with maturity. When somebody's not so kind or a little bit rude or a little bit offhand, I absolutely do not rise to it. In my 20s I did, and I went to anger management. That's a different show for a different time. But now I know that people go through all sorts of things in the daily day, so we've just got to be kind. So you apologised and, you know, he huffed and puffed and walked off. So the next time he says good morning, then you should say good morning. I'm so pleased you said good morning to me again. I'm ever so sorry. I think we started off on the wrong foot. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Anonymous Flower Pot. Nice to meet you. I completely understand about the door not being propped open, simply because that day, the only reason we did that, I was moving all the furniture in, and it won't happen again. My apologies. And that's all you need to say sometimes when we have these disagreements or we've got this little bit of disgruntles in us with another person. We make it a lot bigger than what it actually is. And all we needed to do really was say, I'm sorry, shouldn't have said that. You know, we've got to live together in this block of flats. It won't happen again. I understand your concern. It was foolish of me. Good morning, how are you? Have a good day. Leave it at that. That's all you need to say. That's all you have to say, because we don't know whether maybe somebody broke in last year that we don't know about and attacked him. Once again, I'm making up big stories in my head, because is that not what we do when we've not got the facts? So next time he says good morning, do not ignore him, please, and say good morning back, and then be the bigger person and say we got off to a wrong start. And I want to apologise to you for that. I had the door propped open because we were doing a removal. I was moving in. It will not happen again, and I understand the importance of keeping the door shut. I will make sure that that's done whenever I come through it. Have a lovely day. End of fucking chat, and that's that. That's all you need to say. Oh, anyway. How are we all? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you may be watching me from, my gorgeous flower pots. Can I just say thank you for stars I'm receiving. Facebook have actually updated my page and I've got stars. They asked me if I wanted supporters, but I think you've got to pay money to support me, which I was like, they support me anyway, so I'm not quite sure what you're asking them to do, Flower. So we'll just leave things as that. But I've received quite a few stars, so I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you that has sent me a star. I have no idea what stars are, but a lady called Chloe turned them on for me, and she works at Facebook. Dear Aunty Nelly, I have a horrible relationship with my sister. I have not got on with her for 10 years. Literally, since she turned 12, we are now 23 and 25 away. She's always been a massive bitch to me for as long as I can remember. Not for anything in particular. I did. Always calling me names. Throughout my puberty years, when I had a lot of zits, she pretty much killed most of my confidence, calling me volcano and zit face. Now it's all gone. She just makes fun of my frizzy hair. I hate her. Okay. And I'm not saying this out of anger. I know what I'm saying. Okay. I hate her with all my heart. And I'm sad that she's actually my sister. This morning I was taking a shower like I always do, and she banged on the floor and said, that's the last time you shower in the morning, you take it at night now. I yelled at her and said, who died and made you president? You're not the queen here, you stupid self-centered bitch. I told my mum, but my mum said she doesn't seem to agree with her daughter being the biggest bitch in the world and doesn't want to get involved. What can I do? Absolutely, your mum don't want to get involved. You're fucking 23 and 25. If you don't like your sister that much, and just because the blood relative does not mean to say that we have to really like that person. We may love them, which actually you've said you don't, but you don't have to like that person just because. Then why don't you get a job that pays enough for you to fucking move out? Of course your mum's not going to take sides. Of course your mum's not going to think that your sister's the biggest bitch in the world. You're both her children. Of course your mother doesn't want to get involved in sibling squabbles. You're 23 and 25, you shouldn't have to break up a sibling quarrel, should you? You're not 3 and 5, it's different than as a parent. Your mum must be absolutely exhausted listening to you both. And how dare your sister tell you when you can shower? You can shower 24/7 if you get your own place, Flower. Sit your sister down and say, listen, don't fucking like you, I think you're a big bitch, I'll shower when I want. If that isn't good enough and things don't change because you've not stepped up to her, then get your own place. It's miserable living like this. It's such a toxic relationship. There's people in my family who I'm not a fan of, but I don't sit there with all resentment inside me, and I don't worry that somebody might knock on the shower door or they may be in when I come in from work. Get your own place. Move out. Go and share with somebody else. Do something that doesn't involve your sister. Because you're 25 and she's 23, or you're 23 and she's 25. You should be independent adults now. And I think you'll find, if you was to move out and get your own place, I think your relationship with your sister would improve dramatically. This is not really a Dear Aunty Nelly problem, is it? This is just you mourning and being ever so immature and running to your mum at that age. Come on. You're better than that, flower pot. You are better than that. Okay? Okay. So have a word with your sister, and if things don't resolve, I think it's time for you to pack your bags and move out. Okay? Whether your sister decides she's mature enough to let go of her mum's apron strings and do that herself anyway, that's up to her. But I don't really see a big problem here. And just because you actually said who died and made you president, can I just congratulate anybody here who's watching from the United States? Congratulations on Joe Biden. Once again, peace will be restored and good old Donny can fuck off. Off your foot, Donald. Hopefully you'll take Boris with him. Moving on. Dear Aunty Nelly, I'm starting to feel that I don't love my boyfriend anymore. In the beginning, I loved him so much and planned for our future. Now I don't know if I see that anymore. Why is this? Oh, I am so sorry that I have not brought my crystal ball so that I could turn into septic peg. I have absolutely no idea why you're not starting to feel love for your boyfriend anymore like you did in the beginning. Maybe have you been together a while? Maybe have things gone a little bit stale? Maybe do you need to inject a little bit of romance back into the relationship? I don't know why you no longer love your boyfriend. Ask yourself the questions. Ask yourself, why do I not love my boyfriend anymore? What's changed? Do we not have date nights anymore? Has sex gone a little bit boring? Does he not ring me, text me, buy me flowers? What is it that made you so in love with him in the beginning that has changed? Have a chat with him. See if you can inject that sparkle, that romance, that honeymoon period back into your relationship. Do something different. And if not, it's okay to no longer feel the same about people as we once did. And it's okay to serve yourself. It's okay to say, now then, for me, I'm not happy. So because I'm not happy, I don't think you deserve to be in a relationship with me, because that will then make you not happy and you're in a relationship with somebody who then doesn't really give 100% in a relationship, where you could be with somebody who would make you much happier. Yeah? So there we go. So it's okay to sometimes do something just for us, which will enable that person to find happiness in the long term. Bit of a difficult one. Dear Aunty Nelly, and this is the last Sunday service of today, and if I've upset any American flower pots there, my apologies. But we're all entitled to our own opinion, okay? And I just thought it was nice that I congratulate the majority of the American population for their joy. Yes, for their joy. And if you don't feel that same joy, then I will make no apologies, okay? And if you want to leave the live, please do. Hashtag bye Felicia. Dear Aunty Nelly, I am so lazy that I hate myself awake. I want nice things in life, but I'm too lazy to work for them. I spend my days complaining all day, every day, and it's making my friends and family really, really mad at me. It's also driving me mad. I just can't stop it. What should I do? Okay, so I think me saying to you, well, stop being so fucking lazy and get a job, it's not going to work, is it? Because I think you know that that's what you need to do. And you've lost all motivation. I don't know how old you are and you're anonymous. So you're saying, I want nice things, but I'm too lazy to work for them. Unfortunately, unless you live in fairyland, fairy tale land, then we have to work for the things we've got. Unless you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, then we have to work for the things we've got. I might not have much, but being self-employed, I work 7 days a fucking week. I work with people across the continent, so I have to do Zoom calls, which might be my 3 a.m. here to their 3 p.m. But that's what I do, because I like to turn lights on in my house and have hot running water, and I sometimes like to feed myself. It's what I've got to do in order to survive. I ain't living a glamorous fucking lifestyle, but for the bit of lifestyle that I have got, I work my fucking ass off. Not one person can tell me I'm lazy or I've had anything handed on a plate. And do you know what that gives me? That gives me pride and integrity. The fact that I raised my daughter on my own and she ended up at university. She got first class honours in graphic design. I did that by working my fucking ass off. Have some fucking respect. Have some pride in yourself. Please don't sit there on that fucking ass and think it's going to be handed on a plate, because it isn't. People sit there waiting for these fantastical relationships. Where are they coming from? They're going to knock on your bastard door? How the fuck? You've got to put yourself out there. Sometimes we've got to step out of our comfort zone. And do you know what? Even if it all goes fucking tits up, at least you can say you fucking tried. Because that's all anybody can do, is try. And fuck me do I try every single bastard day, pushing and fucking pedalling, just so I can turn my lights on and have hot running water, and God forbid I fancy that glass of wine, I can go and buy a £5 bottle from fucking Tesco. You will feel, other supermarkets are available, you will feel so much better in life if you work for it. If you work for it. If you want that £35 perfume, work them couple of hours and you bought it for yourself. It feels fucking amazing than having things gifted to you or handed to you on a plate. What are you going to do? Join a website and be a fucking sugar baby? What are you going to do? If that's what you really want to do, believe me, you still have to work for it. You've still got to put the fucking hours in. Ain't nothing in life for free. And believe me, whenever anything comes in this life for free, there's always a fucking price. There might not be that day or next week, but believe me, you'll pay for it somehow. And that, Flower Pots, has been today's Sunday service. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I'm going spending the rest of the day with my mum, so I will send her all your love. She hasn't seen my new glasses yet. So she's in for a surprise. But yes, I have a very, very, very exciting announcement coming up, but I'm not allowed to say just yet. But when I can, I will share it with you as soon as I can. So yeah, exactly, Sharon Richards. She's worked hard. And you know what? Some have a lot and some don't. As long as you've worked for it yourself, you've put an honest day's fucking graft in, good for you. Nobody expects any different. And yes, Caroline Tate, you will see me Wednesday night for Night Time with Nelly. So, I hope you've enjoyed today, because I certainly have. I'm now going to go and see my mum, and I'll see you all very, very soon, Flower Pots. Take care. Love me, your Aunty Nelly.